started.
Goliath, another Spanish player. Okay, let's see. Let's see what he's playing. It's his turn to move. So let's see. My record against Goliath stands with 13 wins, 15 losses, and 2 draws. I do hope he's going to move. Oh, he did move. Okay, he must have gotten distracted at a certain moment. So let's see. I played e5 recently. Knight f6. Let's try the French. Okay. The Tarrasch. I guess I play. Normally I play c5 here. I'm trying a different line with knight f6. I think those are the two main moves: c5 or knight f6. Encouraging him to push the pawn forward, and then the knight's going to go to d7 to get that typical French pawn structure. And later I can play for c5. When you play c5 right away, you end up with the typical isolated queen's pawn position. White can just take both pawns and leave black with the isolated queen's pawn. Not that it's bad, I've played that way. And it leads to interesting play. Okay, he's thinking about his move again. Maybe he has another game going on and he's splitting his attention between them. Okay, so he played the normal move, e5. And develops the bishop on a good post. So I get in c5. I want to play that before I develop my knight and then block the c-pawn. There are other ideas here. I could try b6 and bishop to a6 and try and exchange off the light squared bishop. But I usually just go for this straightforward plan of trying to undermine the center. So I take. Now I've got a diagonal for my dark squared bishop at least. And I'll put this bishop on b7. It's got a square there, a square it can use. And this bishop is going to d7, which keeps knights out of these squares. And I can castle and then play f6, or even f6 right away, just to undermine the center some more. So a classical French opening strategy. Build up a solid center and then allow your opponent to expand and get a lot of space, but then you try to undermine his advanced pawns. Okay, I'm going to castle first and then play f6. The big thing you have to watch out with a move like f6 is it leaves a weakness on e6. This e-pawn is weak, and so I have to always be worried about that a little bit. Yeah, he's lining up for it, and he can bring his knight into g5 and play his rook there. So can I dissolve this right away? For example, is it possible to play e5? Pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes. There's no tricks there, huh? I could try to block up the e-file a bit with knight to e4. Bishop takes, pawn takes, then the knight moves. And I can grab this pawn here maybe. Looks interesting. Let's try that. And it also gives a little scope to this bishop here. After pawn takes knight and knight takes pawn here. Ah, so he just defends the pawn. That's interesting. So let's increase the pressure on that with bishop to f6, and maybe also at the same time think about playing e5. So he's going after this knight. Let's see, this is well defended. He's not taking my knight. And he could have taken my knight there. I was just thinking about that. It's not safe for me to grab the pawn anymore. Okay, but pawn to e5, pawn takes, knight takes. And it looks like that's playable. And if he doesn't take it, then I will take his d pawn. Ah, now he takes my knight. Okay, take there. Thought his knight would have to move. Maybe his knight has a square on e4 now. Maybe that's the difference. I think I will still end up with a good pawn here, an advanced pawn supported by the bishop on b7. And I'll have the bishop pair. The queens might come off. So pawn takes e5. I mean, knight takes e5. Knight takes. Pawn takes e5. Queen takes queen. Rook takes, and then bishop takes pawn. So I'll have the bishop pair.
Check.
Ah, so he moves his queen out of there. Not a bad idea. He doesn't want to trade. He doesn't want to trade queens. And give me maybe a better endgame. I'm not entirely sure it's a better endgame, to be honest, but I would have the bishop pair and I would have this advanced pawn, so it'd be something to play for. So we get this position with the queen still on. Now I have ideas of queen f6, battery on f2, and I need to do that anyway. Got to get the queen up. So can he penetrate to the 7th rank here? I guess so. Yeah, he can play rook to d7. That might be good. It hits this bishop. I have bishop to a6 hitting his knight. And I have ideas of bishop to f4. If I trade this bishop off, I can get to f2. So I think this position is okay for me. We'll see. Ah, knight there. Okay, let's try this bishop f4 idea. I'm giving up the bishop pair, so it is something. I see his idea. The knight on c3 is going after the pawn on e4. Putting more pressure on it. Just building up. But yeah, now there's a threat. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen here, check. King in the corner, and I can win this pawn if nothing better. But yeah, his back rank still has 2 rooks on it, so it's adequately defended, I guess. But then I'll have this passed pawn. Might be very dangerous. Okay, so he goes there with the bishop. And now, can't I make some kind of tempo move with the queen? I guess I move the queen, and he's going to play rook to c2, defending. There's some other move I could make. Any loose pieces? That's defended, that's defended. That's not so easy to attack. Bishop here. Okay, rook here, bishop takes queen, rook takes rook, check. Rook takes or knight, yeah, rook takes, and gets that rook out of check. So yeah, I think that's annoying. Rook to rook to c7 seems to solve all his problems. Okay, I want to stay on the f-file, I guess, at least. Maybe I can push on with, after rook c2, rather, maybe I can play f. I mean, e3. Okay, bishop takes, pawn takes. I don't have that mate threat here. Here there's a threat. Now maybe I should have gone to the g file right away, because e3 threatens a mate on g2 now. e3, f3, and I've got a passed pawn at least. Okay, so he moved his rook there, defended by the knight. And I could threaten his knight. E3, f3 is not leading it anywhere. Yeah, let's attack his knight, because that rook is a potential target, and leave these things suspended. He doubles up that way. Okay, so now his rook is defended, but his bishop is loose. E3 now, f3, then what? Maybe I can sacrifice. Yeah, bishop takes f3. That's the follow-up. I could have played that before. E3, f3, bishop takes f3. The bishop is pretty safe there. It can't be taken by the pawn because of the pin. And just threatens to take the rook. He goes that way. Now I can come in this way, right? Threatening mate here and here. So I think...
White resigns.
Yeah, I think it was going to be hard to stop that. Okay, well, kind of a slow start to that game, but an interesting finish. I will upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.